What was the next step from there? Where did your career go from that point?
After 3 years of playing a lot with that band, the bass player, he had been from LA and he decided he wanted to go back there. And it seemed like immediately he got a gig with Johnny Rotten, with the Sex Pistols, his new band was called Public Image. And we're in San Diego going, now wait a minute, we want to go on the road too. So one by one, we all trot up to LA looking for fortune and fame. And gosh, that was 1984 that I moved up. 1987, I got the call to audition for Michael Jackson.
How'd you get that call?
One of his people called Musicians Institute because at that time, once I moved to LA, I was teaching there. So they called there and said send us 2 players, and I was one of the lucky people that got to go audition.
How incredible. So
Yeah.
so Michael Jackson's organization contacts the school
Yeah.
and requests 2 players to audition.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
I know it is. There's been a few fairy tale things in my life that doesn't happen in real life, you know.
Incredible. How
Yeah.
was that audition? I mean, at the time, listen, Michael Jackson still is one of my incredible, heroes in as a writer, a singer, a performer, a dancer.
Oh, everything, yeah.
Doing it all. And huge. He's huge. You walk in, what happened at the audition?
Well, interestingly enough, I asked what tunes to learn and when the last possible time I could go in was so I could just stay home and just knock those things into the gray matter. Bought my first CD player so I could hear more clearly than a cassette. That was,
At that time, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly it. Just
Yeah.
the changeover of different technology, yeah.
Yeah. So I went in and saw there was no band. It was just me and a video camera. Go. And the only guidance I was given was that most of the gig would be funky rhythm. And so I improvised something, then I started soloing. At that time, by the time I got the Jackson gig, I had done 3 demos with Michael Sembello for my first record.
Right.
And one of the things I worked out this tapping thing for Giant Steps. So I played that, and then...
You played Giant Steps?
Yeah.
But that's Giant Steps out of Michael Jackson. Fantastic.
Well, it was kind of a rockin' version,
Yeah.
tapping and distorted tone and stuff. In the cover band in San Diego, as soon as Beat It came out, I'll never forget it. We were setting up at a rehearsal, and that came on the radio, and everybody just stopped, like, that guitar solo, holy crap. That was just stunning.
Yeah.
So I set out to learn that and failed 3 times, finally got it. And then, so years later, at the audition, I finished the audition with playing the Beat It solo.
How great.
People always ask me, well, what was it that made him want to pick you? And I said, I never asked, I just said thank you. And gosh, a couple of years ago, a buddy of mine, Steve Swirsky, is doing a film on female guitar players, and he tracked down the guy that shot the video of that audition. So 20 years go by, or maybe even more, and I saw it, and it's hysterical. I was trying so hard to look cool, and I was so clueless. Thank goodness they had a costumer to get me up to speed.
What was it like? I mean, first of all, how was it to get the call to say you're in?
Well, the call wasn't that. The call was, Michael's interested, can you come down, rehearse with the band, and can you take a year off? And I said, take me anywhere for any length of time. And so I went in, and day after day after day, I'd play, and I was working my butt off.
With the full band?
Yes. Yeah, Ricky Lawson.
And Michael was there,
Don
Ricky
Boyette.
Lawson. God bless his soul. Yeah.
Oh, he was. I couldn't have asked for a better group of people.
Yeah.
For a rookie,
And who was in the band at that time?
Ricky Lawson, Don Boyette, Greg Fillinganes was the musical director.
Great.
John Clark was the other guitar. Who am I missing? Guitar, bass, drums. Chris Carell was a keyboard player. And actually, it was 3 keyboard players. Rory Kaplan was another one.
So you're rehearsing with Michael, and what was that like?
Well, it wasn't with Michael yet. We spent a month just as the band. And a lot of that time was tweaking sounds. I mean, God, they had programmers, trying to get all the sounds that are on the record, because those songs were so popular that the EQ on the snare is ingrained in people's heads.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was a lot of effort put into sound. So we rehearsed for a month before we met Michael. And I was just subbing out all my other work all this time and not telling anybody about it. Because how much would it suck to say, I got the Michael Jackson gig, and then it doesn't happen, you know? So mum was the word. I just subbed out with no explanation. You got to cover for me. So a month in, we moved to a bigger sound stage, and we had heard that if Michael's happy with the music, he'll probably start dancing. And he came in and started dancing right away.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I came in with his manager. It's like, that vision is frozen in my mind forever. The manager with the cigar and the ponytail, you know? And I just remember being introduced to him, and I just thought, this is very magical, stunning, radiant energy.
And when he came in and he started dancing, what was that first rehearsal like with him? Did he start singing with the band? And
I'm sure he did, yeah.
so now you're hearing Michael Jackson with the band that you're in. This had to be surreal at such a high level.
Oh, it was. It was. And even on stage, people say, well, what's it like to play to 100,000 people? And it was always surreal. Always.
Yeah.
Part of it, especially the last tour, I felt like I was in a theater production because I had that leather mask and horrendous. Horrendous. So the costume, it was the first time I had any, you know, crazy costumes, and then they decided to whack out my hair. And it was just a whole transformation on every possible level.
And how did that feel, you know, playing music? I mean, here you are still a diehard musician of what it is. All that showbiz stuff is going on.
Yeah.
How did you maintain just your composure to stay focused?
We rehearsed our butts off. That's how.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is one of the takeaways that I tell people that, boy, I have never felt over-rehearsed. I always feel like I could do, if I had another time, I could take that time to make it better.
Wow.
So we rehearsed so much. I mean, 2 months total. One with the band, singers were in one room, band in one room, dancers in another room.
Right.
Then we all come together with all the special effects and stuff. And granted, there was a lot of time, some downtime for special effects, like bringing a tank on the stage with a remote control, or you know, seeing some explosion for the first time. We were all out front watching that, and I'll never forget that because I was supposed to be right next to a big explosion, and a bomb went off, and I was supposed to take the guitar and I could go bam, and the explosion would happen. And I was, I don't know how many yards, quite a ways away when we saw it for the first time. And even that far away, the heat from the fire was, oh my God. And I have to be right next to that. I never saw it on stage. I would always go the other way. And, yeah, it was really exciting. It was so much fun. The first tour was 1.5 years. And when it was over, I just wanted to cry.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh no, real life again, no. I mean, Jesus, he shut down the Tokyo Disneyland so we could all hang out. Who does that?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a book inside of all of that someplace at some point that you could write just on that tour.
Sure. Yeah. It was a whole different thing, and what a wonderful way to see the world.
Yeah. So you finish the tour. Where to next now? What happened next?
After the first tour was over, I went back to Michael Sembello and finished my first record, Above, Below, and Beyond.
Right.
And that took forever. It was a guitar record, and he was doing things with a lot bigger budgets. So I would get the hours, usually 3 in the morning to 6 or something. And the best thing about those sessions was I learned how to do the auto punch. So nobody had to be around.
Yeah.
And not long after that, ADATs came out.
Right.
So I was self-sufficient and loving it. So I did the second record several years later in my own place.
But what an experience. So to write your own stuff and to produce that. And I know that Michael was a former Stevie Wonder guitarist.
Yeah.
So he already had that behind him. He knew what he was doing at a very high level.
Yeah.
And how did you meet him?
His engineer's girlfriend was taking guitar lessons from me. So that was an LA connection. Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody.
Well, you have all these incredible things that have happened that just seem to fall into place at the right time. It's just really amazing.
I think that's how it's supposed to work.
Well, I think when you live your life with passion, doing what you love doing, that there are certain things that happen that way, which is beautiful. How did you, in the sessions, we try to let a lot of the young musicians that are watching this, or people that have the desire to play music, try to learn from, how did you maintain the business out of it? How did you organize things? Are you an organized person to make sure that things are on time? How do you run your business? Dom Famularo here, the Sessions panel. This is so exciting. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Click the subscribe button to be a part of what we're doing. The views help us tremendously. All of your comments, we read them and react to them. This is incredible. The support you're giving us is great. The Sessions panel. We'll see you real soon.